When I was 13 years old, my mom bought me Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball after I convinced her that it was actually just a really good volleyball game, and there was no other reason why I wanted it. It's been more than 2 decades since then, so I figured it was about time to revisit this title, as I have a strong feeling that this is in fact not a good volleyball game. The original Xbox released November 15th, 2001, and I picked up my console alongside a copy of Halo Combat Evolved on November 15th, 2001. And if you're doing your math correctly, you'll come to the realization that that was day one, baby. I had my dad drive me 40 minutes to the nearest Walmart to pick it up. And I don't remember seeing anybody with an umbrella there, but I was apparently making it rain that day because not only did I pick up an Xbox, I also picked myself up a sick-ass BMX bike so that I could do one trick and one trick only, a bar spin, which I would never do while moving, only while stationary, and most commonly in my parents' driveway. I said to hell with gears in a town full of hills, but my inner monologue was loud with regret as I was halfway up a steep incline, sweat dripping out every pore as I slowly inched forward. I have lost the plot. My first introduction to the Xbox was a 240p video of a warthog driving on a beach. I have no idea where I watched it. I cannot seem to find that original video anywhere, but what I can tell you is it looked a little something like this. And I thought to myself, this is the future of gaming. And honestly, it kind of was. Halo became a massive hit, becoming the flagship title for the Xbox and spawning some of the best birthday parties ever as you and 15 of your friends duked it out in the Blood Gulch. I became a bit of an Xbox fanboy, championing it in a sea of friends playing GTA 3 on their PlayStation 2s, which that game was really good. I would purchase the official Xbox magazine pretty much every month so I could get my hands on the demo discs, which would in turn dictate my gaming wish lists. I have so many fond memories of these demo discs, and some would get more playtime than the actual games I bought. This magazine is how I found out about Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball. The game was heavily marketed, first appearing in issue 6, and in pretty much every issue after that up until its release on January 22nd, 2003. Also, I thought there was a playable demo on one of these OXM discs, but I can't seem to find evidence of that existing anywhere, short of some random archive website that claims it exists on disc 16, but it also claims that there were like 20 some odd playable demos on each disc. I feel like I had to have played a demo somewhere though, because I have this vague memory of playing one, and how else would I have known that this game was any good? Developed by Team Ninja, DOAX was a spin-off of the popular fighting game series Dead or Alive. The game was designed and produced by the original creator of DOA, Tomonobu Itagaki, citing his main inspiration for the game being spending time on a beach resort. That's it. He didn't elaborate at all on that. Presumably he saw somebody playing beach volleyball well there. We'll never know. Reading through these magazines again was a huge hit of nostalgia, and also a whole lot of cringe. But while I was searching through the magazines, I found a review for DOA Extreme, and it got an 8.4 out of 10, which was really surprising to me, so maybe this game wasn't that bad after all. I had a bit of time today, so I figured I would try to get some gameplay recorded. This is my original copy, and I don't even think I've opened this case in over 20 years. Huh. I played a lot of local co-op games back in my day, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know this had a 2-player option. I definitely never asked anybody to play this game with me. In fact, I probably never even told anybody I owned this game. I brought my 360 down into the basement as I wanted to shield my family from seeing me play this game. Everything was going great. I had water, snacks, did a few test videos. I put the disc into the system. Wait, what? The Xbox 360 had backwards compatibility for the vast majority of the original Xbox titles, but apparently Xtreme Beach Volleyball did not get the 360 treatment and is locked to the original Xbox. This is presumably due to the fact that the Xbox controllers had pressure-sensitive buttons, which were absent on the 360, and was a feature used heavily in DOAX. Thankfully, I still had my system, so I went back upstairs to grab it and oh yeah. I forgot that these systems only had composite cables and I would need to get a converter to HDMI in order to capture the footage. I was able to get next day shipping, so day one might have been a bust, but we're starting fresh tomorrow. The adapter had arrived and I got my Xbox set up in my shame dungeon. I unfortunately only have these Duke controllers though for some reason. I actually really liked these girthy boys back in the day despite having small hands, but I truly cannot see the appeal right now. Also, my Xbox is modded, so don't mind Homer throwing back a can of Duff. I did not choose that background chose me. I tossed the game into the system and it won't load. I tried a bunch of other titles to make sure it wasn't my Xbox, and all the games that I tried played fine. The disc itself looked good other than the fact that it had this slight discoloration which almost looked like a water spill. I started looking for answers online and I found one I feared it might be. Disc rot. Disc rot is something that I kept hearing about, as if it were some fabled boogie monster lurking in the shadows ready to eat away at my game collection. This ticking time bomb that everyone was talking about but I had never experienced myself. It was discovered as early as the late 1980s with laserdiscs, but has become a much larger topic of discussion as many game collections are becoming older, and more people are discovering that some of their games are now unplayable. There are many reasons why this happens, such as UV damage, poor storage conditions like damp environments, manufacturing defects, and in some cases the adhesive that holds the disc layers together can separate, causing the disc information to oxidize. It can look like pinholes that let light through, a dark discoloration, or in my case, a water spill under the disc layers. This seems to be more prevalent in CDs and DVDs than with Blu-rays, but it's still slightly terrifying to know that the games that I took good care of could start to rot. I started to search online markets to see if I could find another copy of this game, but as the night closed, I was unsuccessful. I decided to call around to some local game stores. A man in his 30s desperately looking for a copy of Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball, as if I were some volleyball enthusiast that just discovered this game exists and I need to play it today. This game is unfortunately not one of the cheaper titles on the Xbox, and I'm gonna have to shell out $60 plus tax. But I feel like I'm already too deep into this video and I'm gonna have to see this thing through.
Dead or Alive Xtreme? Xbox, yeah?
It is, yeah. I heard it's just a really good volleyball game.
Have you heard of the Guy game?
The Guy game was released in 2004 for the Xbox and PlayStation 2. Developed by Top Heavy Studios, it was basically just full motion video Girls Gone Wild disguised as a trivia game. It was later discovered that one of the contestants was underage, resulting in Top Heavy ceasing distribution of the game. I cannot officially confirm this, but it does seem like resale of the game is banned, with eBay even removing listings of the title, which kinda makes sense considering the content on the disc. This is the company that DOAX keeps. You wanna play Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball? Come with me. I got something I think you're really gonna like. It's a bunch of questionably legal women taking their tops off. To my surprise, even Scott the Woz brings up the Guy game in his video about Dead or Alive Xtreme. This copy had a few more scratches than mine, but it didn't have that discoloration, so my hopes were high that this was going to work. I got back home and immediately tossed this game into my console, and it didn't load. So now I'm wondering if the issue is my Xbox, and if there even was an issue with the disc to begin with. I drove back to the store with both my copy and the copy I had just bought to try them out on their test console, and lo and behold, mine worked. So yeah, remember how I went on that big rant about disc rot? Turns out my disc is fine. Suck it, disc rot. Stay in your little fairy tale books. wherever you're residing. I went to return the game I had just bought 30 minutes ago, but they don't do returns. So they did give me store credit though, so I'm not completely out the money. I was now on the search for a new Xbox console. I found one just outside the city for $80, and it came with 4 of the S-type controllers, which was nice because those Duke controllers are absurd. Whose hands were they playtesting these controllers with? Shaq? Jeff Dabe? Wreck-It Ralph? I was on my way to pick up my new console. Aiden, the one selling me the Xbox, was kind enough to allow me to test out the system before buying it, as I wanted to make sure that it would actually play Dead or Alive Xtreme Beach Volleyball before spending any more money. Now, I'm not the most outgoing person in the world, and I'm gonna be honest, asking a stranger if I could play Xtreme Beach Volleyball in their living room is kinda awkward. Thankfully, Aiden was a super nice person and hadn't even heard of the game before, but as soon as it booted up, I panically said, "Yup, it works," powered down the system, handed him the $80, and headed home. I had a bit of time today to capture some gameplay, so I hooked up the new Xbox. The disc tray on this thing leaves a bit to be desired, but Aiden showed me this cool little trick where you just slap the shit out of it for a little bit, and eventually it just pops right out. Once a disc is in the tray though, it seems to work fine, so this thing's just gonna live with a blank CD in it whenever it's stored away. After days of trying, I was finally able to play this game. Weirdly, in the options, you can change your age to something below 17, despite this being a mature title. This apparently has no effect over the gameplay and is just a remnant from the original Dead or Alive. In that game, the higher your age was, the more the jiggle physics were affected. The story starts off with 2 characters on what looks like the Titanic, reenacting a scene from the James Cameron movie. The woman then asks, "What's that?" to the island ahead of her because apparently she had no idea where she was traveling. To which the male character responds, "That's my island," and then blasts off on a fucking jetpack, which immediately fails and he falls into the ocean. We then get a montage of the character that we presume is Zach, as anyone who has not played a DOA title before has had no introduction to this person. He won a bunch of money at a casino and bought an island. That's all the story we get. It does at least feel very tongue-in-cheek though. They know the concept of this game is ridiculous. I now get to choose my character. And if you've ever played a Dead or Alive game before, you might be wondering to yourself, where are all the male characters except for Zach? We don't know. We're not given that context. Wait, why is her age not known? Was Top Heavy involved in the development of this game? Strangely, some of the information you would want to know, like power, technique, and defense, are hidden away in the manual. I'm not sure why I would need to know their blood type, but that too is omitted from this screen. What in the world is blancmange? Oh, it's this weird Victorian dessert thing. So I pick Kazumi, and we fly out to Zach's island. What happened to her brother? I feel like we're missing so much context here. We meet the shapely shape of Lisa on a sun chair, who is apparently a frequent flyer of Zach's island, and has zero time to deal with Kazumi's missing brother because we need to hit up the accessory shop. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to happen. I tried multiple times to get past this loading screen, but every single time it would get stuck. It didn't help that every time I restarted the game, there was a 30-second unskippable federal warning stating how I could be charged up to $250,000 for unauthorized reproduction of the game. So now I'm back to thinking there might actually be something wrong with the disc. I called up my local game store to ask if I could play some of this game on their system and see if I can get past that loading screen. Nothing quite like playing this game publicly while customers are shopping. However, I was able to get past that loading screen. So did Aiden sell me a shit Xbox? I came home from the store feeling defeated. I've sunk about $170 into playing a game about beach volleyball, and I did not feel like spending any more. It was then that I came up with a brilliant idea. Oh my god, this is awful. Yeah, so that didn't work. Xbox emulation is not great. Some games have been emulated very well and play relatively flawlessly, while many other titles have horrible frame rates and are almost unplayable. I had no other options at this point, so I decided to just try again in the off chance that I could get past that loading screen. And it worked! By some miracle, it properly loaded and I was finally going to be able to play this game. I didn't really know what to buy from the accessory shop, but I figured a white volleyball was a good start. So good, in fact, that I bought 2 of them. And I wrapped them up as I somewhat remember that you can give gifts in this game. Sure enough, my first option was to give a gift to Tina. Am I giving her this gift underwater? Here you go, just a soggy box. That might be misconstrued. I also read this as present to Tina rather than give a present to Tina. I then went to an empty beach and just stretched for a bit. I didn't realize that would move time forward, but in this game there is morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Just like in our real lives. And every time that you do an activity, it moves that time forward. Just like in our real lives. In the evening, I played my first volleyball game with my new teammate, The Shape. And we won! At night, you can gift presents to other players, view your items or collections, head to bed, or go to the casino, which is where I went because I was still feeling pretty amped up from our win. There you can play table games or slot machines, and I ended up breaking even, which was pretty much a win for me, so I called it a night. I headed to the pool in the morning and tried out the hopping game. This is where you basically just jump across floating couch cushions until you reach the other side of the pool. I liked it so much that I didn't even realize how much time had passed by, and I spent the entire day there. A full 14 hours jumping on couch cushions. I must have been a little perplexed as to how quickly the day went by, because what happened next was just 2 minutes of me staring at this present that Zach gave me. I did end up winning some money at the casino though, so the whole day wasn't a waste. I figured I should play some volleyball today, so in the morning I went to the beach with Lisa, and we got rocked. Your character will position themselves on the court, so all you really need to do is press the face buttons in order to serve or pass, which means that you can essentially just play this game with one hand. What's that hand doing? But there are times that I feel like my character wasn't even paying attention. Like, what is she doing here? Picking up shells? We're in the middle of a game, Kasumi! After the loss, I felt like I needed a bit of dopamine, so I went shopping at the accessory shop. We ended up rematching Tina and Hitomi. We got absolutely rocked again. But I was confident that Lisa and I were going to make a huge comeback tomorrow. Excited to make some new friends, I gifted Christy a Western straw hat and some bronze framed glasses. And I gifted Li Fang a pair of white sneakers, then I went to bed. A bit of a rough start this morning. Christy threw my gifts in the trash, and Lisa split up with me. I didn't even know we were dating. Zach of All Trades was open today, so I went to check it out and I bought myself a few things. I then saw Helena down at the private beach and I wanted to make a good impression, so I gifted her what every girl wants. A wooden steering wheel. I then tried to partner up with her, but she declined. Maybe she's just one of those weirdos that doesn't like wooden steering wheels. I moved on pretty quickly though, as I needed a new partner and I wanted to play some more volleyball. So I went to ask Hitomi if she wanted to partner up, and what the hell is she doing on this tree? She also declined. I went back to the hotel partner list. I ended up gifting Helena a brown guitar as I hadn't given up on our friendship yet. I decided to go back to the casino and play a bit of roulette. I lost all my money. To say that today was a bad day would be an understatement. I've only been here 4 days and already I have no partner, no money, and I gave away my only wooden steering wheel. But it's darkest before the dawn, so things can only go up from here. Helena threw my wooden steering wheel in the trash. But she did keep the brown guitar I gave her. I tried to partner up with Ayana and Hitomi, but both declined. I was once again nearing the end of the day and I still could not find someone to partner up with. I then saw Helena down at Nikki Beach, and considering that she kept one of my gifts, I figured I would try to team up again. And she said yes! Things were looking up. I had a partner again. I went back to the hotel that night full of hope, excited for the new day, and I went straight to bed. I saw Ayane and Hitomi down at the private beach, and as they both declined my request to partner up yesterday, I figured I should show them what they missed out on. This match was actually pretty even throughout, but in the end, I scored the last 2 points, one of which I'm pretty sure just flew off my head. I felt like Helena and I were a match made in heaven, and I did not want to lose my partner again. So I found out what she likes, which is white things and blanc mange. I didn't think I would find any blanc mange on the island, so I bought everything white at the store, including some whitening sunblock. The next game was another big match, as it was against my old partner Lisa. We absolutely crushed them, and at one point Helena smashed Lisa in the face, which did feel a bit personal. The last game of the day was against Li Fang and Christy. And I couldn't help but notice, but Li Fang was still wearing those sweet white kicks that I had bought her the other day. This game was our best game yet, resulting in a 7-0 win. Back at the hotel, I gifted Helena the white nail polish I bought and called it a night. We ended up winning 2 out of 3 games today, but things felt a bit off, like we weren't playing as well as we were yesterday. Trying to keep our friendship alive, I gifted Helena a white conch and went to bed. I wanted to get Helena something a bit more expensive, so I ended up splurging on a white bathing suit at the sports shop. We did not play well at all today, only winning 1 out of 3 games and losing to Lisa in the most embarrassing way. So that night, I gifted Helena the white bathing suit. She threw it in the trash. It was clear that we were no longer the team that we were just a few days ago. There were cracks forming in the foundation of our relationship, and we ended up playing one of the worst games we'd ever played that night. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Was there someone else? Was the bathing suit not white enough? Was I not white enough? The next day, Helena didn't show up. I was once again without a partner. Li Fang was still wearing the white sneakers I had bought her though, so I decided to try to team up. She refused, and so did everyone else I asked. I ended up buying a submachine gun from Zach of all trades because 1, why is it there? And 2, because I felt like I was becoming more and more isolated on this island and I might need to protect myself. Li Fang looked like she might have lost her partner as well, so I asked her again if she wanted to partner up. And she did. And I'll be honest, this team was horrible. We had 0 chemistry and we lost every game we played that day. Li Fang ended things after only 1 day. I can't say I blame her though. Still feeling the sting of rejection, I spent most of the day down by the pool doing my favorite activity, jumping on couch cushions. And then I called it an early night. I tried all day to find another teammate, but I couldn't find one. And I'm starting to have this strange feeling that Ayane hates me for some reason. I did win big at the casino though. This is my last day on the island apparently. There was no mention that this was only a 2-week vacation, and I ended up spending my last day unsuccessfully trying to find a partner. I went back to the casino that night to try my luck in poker, and I lost all my money. I kind of feel like I'm ending this trip on a low note. No one wanted to be my friend on the island. I lost all my money. And I still don't know where the fuck my brother is. The game ends with a volcano erupting and the island exploding? And I think Zach's dead. Oh, never mind, he's alive. Yeah, he's dead. The story of this game is barely told in the game itself. There is a prologue in the manual, and in it, it explains that Zach won the money at the casino, he bought himself an island, and then he declared that he would host the DOA 4 tournament there, but only invited the women contestants. Most of the contestants will mention something about the tournament upon meeting Lisa, but for whatever reason, Hitomi is looking for a brother, and that is just never expanded upon. I tried looking for answers online, but couldn't really find anything. The most I got is that she is a runaway ninja trying to avenge her brother, which kind of implies that her brother is dead and that she's aware of it. So the question remains, was this actually a really good volleyball game, or did I just lie to my mom all those years ago? And the answer is, it's not actually that bad. The graphics were impressive for the time, and the volleyball itself, although simple, was engaging. And the pressure-sensitive face button certainly did add to that. Spiking the ball always felt good. As Tomonobu said, he wanted you to feel the balls in your hand, or something along those lines. The relationship building and gift giving I do think can add a bit of fun to the experience as well. Unfortunately, this game is dripping with this creepy voyeuristic aesthetic that hurts the game in the long run. And I kind of wish they just added the male characters in this game, because then it probably would have been remembered as this decent, fun DOA sports title, rather than a game associated with the Guy Game and BMX XXX and Leisure Suit Larry. Now there's just one last thing to do. I have no idea how to actually get to 2-player in this, so I think just exhibition. Oh, there we go. Okay. So normally they have actually like stats and stuff like that, but they don't tell you anything apparently on the screen. But what I can tell you is this is Kasumi, and we don't know her age. However, we do know that her blood type is A positive.
We don't know her age, but we know her blood type. I get to choose the unwilling?
Yeah, why would you be an unwilling partner? Also, are you not in control of the character? Why? Oh, wait, no, never mind. We're versing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you have an unwilling partner?
I'm gonna make her confident.
Can you move it?
Ooh.
Oh, you get to choose.
Let's go with the sunset.
Check this shuffle out that I'm doing here. What is going on? She's unbelievably confident. She's not even passing it back to me. She's just like, I've got this. So when they spike at you, you want to try and get those ones.
Thanks. I got scared for her.
Hey, that's fair. Also, if you go to the right and press A at the same time, you can do this. Oh, nice block. How did you block?
I pressed A, I think.
I couldn't figure it out the entire time I played this game. Whoa! Sorry, she came out of nowhere.
Did you see that block?
I didn't even need to. It was pure intimidation.
Oh man, your girl is...
What is happening here? She's raring to go.
She's like,
God damn it,
hurry
serve
up
the
and
ball.
serve. Or I could just fan myself.
I did it a few times with my characters, like, I think picking up shells or something in the middle of the match.
She's like, listen, I'm on vacation.
Yeah. I'm trying to find my brother. Maybe he's under the sand here.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. This game is actually really fun.
Right? It's not actually that bad.
Sun still hasn't set.
Yeah, do you want to play one more?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, baby. Can I tell you what's on my mind? 'Cause I've been thinking about it for quite some time. Hey, can you give me a moment to declare my love?
Blancmange.